Your will lies deep way under the surface, and like a fire needs coal in the furnace. This is your goal that makes it all worth it. This is your why that gives you your purpose. Let's go. Thoughts can keep you down, pushing deep until you drown, or they can keep you up strong, focused on the now. Glass half full, or has it been emptied out? Well, that's all up to you and your mind. Do you doubt anything, everything, not a thing? Make my thoughts work for me, manifest what I need, what I want, what I see. I could be anything, I attract all the things that I see. I believe I'll achieve as I breathe in and out again and again. I don't doubt, I sit and I plan, and I found out that I can execute if I'm driven, if I listen, if I learn all the wisdom. Read some books, something written, watch the best, teach a system I invest. Never hidden, I ain't scared, ain't no chicken, I take dares. I'll be winning, you get back what you're giving. Find the reason that you're living, what you're good at, all your gifts and what you love. Take a risk and find out what you've been missing. Yeah. Your will lies deep way under the surface, and like a fire needs coal in the furnace. This is your goal that makes it all worth it. This is your why that gives you your purpose. Your will lies deep way under the surface, and like a fire needs coal in the furnace. This is your goal that makes it all worth it. This is your why that gives you your purpose. Purpose is better than any drug you could ever think. If you know why you're doing something, that's all you need. I wake up ready for the day because I believe in everything that I'm doing, like it was meant to be. I get fixated and captivated on learning things. Don't hesitate to ask questions, the answer that I need. It's out there somewhere, I swear I can find the recipe. By testing, learning, and turning into a better me. Your will lies deep way under the surface, and like a fire needs coal in the furnace. This is your goal that makes it all worth it. This is your why that gives you your purpose. Your will lies deep way under the surface, and like a fire needs coal in the furnace. This is your goal that makes it all worth it.
This is your purpose. I messed that up. Anyways, hello everyone. Welcome to, it's going to probably be a pretty short stream for this. Now, obviously I tried planning this last week, although I kind of, got distracted with a few things and just was going through a motivation block with wanting to do this, like, stream for the after upload of my recent video. Anyways, switching over to the... Well, it's still set in the gaming scene. I haven't really used Streamlab in a long while. Peak stream, I don't think it's gonna be really a peak stream. This is just more just me talking about my video I uploaded, which was obviously the destroy the old, revamp to new. I'm just gonna wait for more people to kind of join in the chat. But obviously, as you can tell, it's been pretty much like the reveal of my original model made by DevCake Productions. Just gonna wait for a few more people to come in. You know that guy? Yep, DevCake Productions. Who? Okay, now everything's confused. We're all confused here in the the stream chat. Never heard of them. Don't be messing around, DevCake. I know you're in the chat. But anyways, hello DevCake, hello Scrapco, hello Gravebrain. I'm not falling for it. Anyways, pretty much I'm just gonna be talking about a few things with the animation. Pretty much, the animation was made that, for Aura, no, DevCake is apparently a Blender animator and is a model creator. Ohio? No, we're not doing the frickin' Gen Alpha memes. I'm a Gen Z. I know there's a lack of background music. I'm gonna put on a bit of background music. Probably just some Sonic Frontiers calm music. Where's the playlist? Here we go. Just some fishing vibes. Just some calm background music. Hello, Willow Production. Yeah, thanks. It's kind of my official model now, so I'm no longer a Splinks Premangle recolor. So basically the animation, I keep kind of drifting off topic. Basically the animation was made because of pressure and stress with Showdown of the EE90s, which was an animated movie I was trying to work on. But pretty much, obviously, who kisses me in the video? That's it's an OC character of mine. That's a female character I created. They're not a Five Nights at Freddy's character. They are a Sonic character because I'm kind of a Sonic the Hedgehog fan. But pretty much the animation I did was mainly because of stress of Showdown with the EE90s, and I was keeping the original model secret for like probably about 2 years now. It was done before, but I was keeping it secret for 2 years till I was gonna technically reveal it at the end of Showdown with the EE90s. Now, Showdown with the EE90s, it's Showdown with the EE90s. I'm not saying it's canceled. It's probably more like on hold, but I'm just not really sure what I'm going to do with Showdown with the EE90s at this point, because it's been pretty challenging to try to work on it because I'm not that much of a skilled animator, and it's because I'm pretty limited for what I'm trying to do for Showdown with the EE90s. And of course, if people question what does EE90 stand for, it's Extreme Enigma 90s. Because in my Source Filmmaker animated series, not sure what to title the whole series, I'm just calling it the Extremes Origin series, as it's the origin story of my Five Nights at Freddy's OC. Pretty much the first movie was called Battle of Two EE90s, because I was being specific, despite one of my friends was saying I should have just called it Battle of the EE90s, but if I titled it that Battle of the EE90s, it would be every single variant of Extreme Enigma 90, whether it be Fnaf, Bendy and the Ink Machine, Sonic, or any type of franchise I'm a fan of. Like, I would have a variant that is Extreme Enigma 90 or named Extreme. Every single variant would be facing each other. Will I revamp my profile pic and my banner? I don't really know. Banner, probably, but profile pic, I still want to keep the little Picru 2D art pic I made of my OC. But thing is, it's just trying to commission a 2D artist to make my character. It's going to be very difficult, and because I can't really much commission anyone unless if it's like through just specific types of payment methods. Because I mean, like, I don't have a PayPal Cash App. Well, I kind of have a Ko-Fi, but it's probably not really much. But obviously, probably I haven't got much 2D fan art of my character because my character may be too complex. And it's only complex because of the lightning on his body. Will we get a new heal? Don't know if there may be a new model of heal. Probably not. Well, despite... since I have the official model of Extreme, I was thinking about making alternative textures to make heal, as heal is meant to be somewhat of a evil twin of Extreme. It's kind of like a kind of considered an evil doppelganger, but Heal originally comes from his own universe in my series. He comes from a universe where Extreme's like the villain, wants power, control. He ended up ruling over his universe, but he got bored and decided to try taking over another universe and kind of do it all over again. But since the universe that's currently canon to my character, Extreme, was already occupied by an Extreme Enigma 90, Heal knew he had to get rid of what was supposed to be me. There can only be one Extreme in the universe, so he was going to try to take out the existing Extreme so he could proceed with his plan to take over my universe. A friend I have who draws fun... You have a friend that draws furry art? Yes, I would like that. But, of course, Showdown with the EE90s has put a lot of pressure on me, because I've been trying to find animators to help me. I even had DevCake try to help me with, like, a scene in Blender, but the session got corrupted and I had to try to make it myself in Source Filmmaker. Even though I could just try to tone down some of the stuff of Showdown with the EE90s, but I don't really want to do that. I want to make sure that it's big and good. I mean, I don't really care much about perfection. Could you ever get me to record more lines for the big pink letter R? Maybe. If there's a sequel planned, maybe. Final hours in the big pink letter R 2 Electric Boogaloo or something. Or final hours in the big pink letter R. What will be a good subtitle? Can't use 2 in the title. Well, obviously can't have too many lines, because that'll be too much coding and random chance for lines to be heard. But in case if some of you don't know, Final Hours in the Big Pink Letter R was a Five Nights at Freddy's fan game that I voiced for, and I did do a video of it on my channel. And honestly, it's just the whole game is just meme-worthy material. That's what you do with The Last Fallen. If it's too hard to make, give up and make something similar but less hard to make. There was a alternative plot I was going to do for Showdown at the EE90s where it was going to be a lot more shorter. But thing is, with what I'm trying to do for Showdown at the EE90s, I wanted to have more characters have main purpose roles. Like, not just the movie focus on just Extreme and Heal, like how Battle of Two EE90s ended up being. I mean, there was some involvement of the Five Nights at Freddy's animatronics or the Freddy's Pizzeria animatronics, but for Showdown, I wanted to give a few more characters more main role. Like, you know, have some focus and main character roles for other characters besides just Extreme and Heal being the main focus. If you know what I mean. Though I can't give too much because I'm not sure if I want to fully cancel Showdown with the EE90s. Anyways, I talked for a good, like, 15 minutes. I was gonna soon move to talk about and show off, like, Easter eggs and references of the animation. Might as well go do that right now. So let me just go to my channel here. Just play it back. Okay, there we go. Oh. Let me just move the thing over. Oh, there we go. So, I'm gonna switch up some of the scenery. Open up the display capture. Shrink down my webcam and shrink down the chat. Hello, Jules VA. Welcome to the stream. Okay, where is it? Okay, chat box, color block, chat box. Shrinking down the chat. It's going to look very tiny. And shrink down my webcam just so you can see more of the video. Actually, I can move the chat over here. So you could all see the screen, the video, destroy the old, revamp to new. This was the animation that I uploaded last week. and it was to reveal my official model of my character. So I'm just gonna go over some of the stuff. So pretty much quality may not look that good, even though the whole clips of the animation were exported in 720p, even though I tried going for 1080, but my computer has this weird glitch with Steam that anything from Valve won't really open up through the Steam client. So I had to open up through File Explorer, and since I'm opening Source Filmmaker through File Explorer, it won't really resonate the 1080p setting that I have set in the Steam client. But of course, you see my character walk in. But of course, most of these clips were kind of mashed together from exporting image sequences and putting them into Blender in 1080p. .1080p is always a problem exporting videos. Well, actually, I tried upscaling it to 2K resolution, which 2K is like the in-between of 1080 and 4K, which obviously 2K is 1440p, and obviously that's like 2K resolution, because that's a balance of in between 1080 and 4K. Because 4K would take up a lot of storage space and basically take a long time to upload. Anyways, as you see on the shelf here, there is a few references, such as the cameos that were mentioned in the credits. The cameos were Caleb the Hedgehog and Mike G023. Although Mike G023 is still my friend, I don't know about my current situation and status with Caleb the Hedgehog, but as you see, the blue Sonic shoe, that was to represent Caleb. And this shelf is mainly to represent memories from somewhat of my journey and stuff I have interest with. So the blue Sonic shoe, those represent Caleb. And then this blue sword down here. This blue sword down here. This is to represent Mike G023, who is obviously one of my best friends. I do have his official model, but basically I had trouble with putting it into Source Filmmaker. Well, I put it into Source Filmmaker, I did everything correct, but the model won't show up. But the model will show up in Blender. I think it's because Mike kind of changed the textures on his character's eyes. But with other stuff that's on the shelf, you see there's the Mangle plush, Roxanne plush. Obviously representing two of my favorite Five Nights at Freddy's characters, Mangle and Roxanne Wolf. Mangle being my #1 favorite Five Nights at Freddy's character, and then Roxanne Wolf being my favorite Security Breach character. Then this red hat is to represent Ned Bear. And the reason why is because I could do a pretty decent, accurate voice of Ned Bear from Ultimate Custom Night.
Don't you hate getting killed by obscure secondary characters? Stranger danger. Whoops, that's gonna leave a mark. I don't even want to ask.
Well, obviously the I don't even want to ask was technically a line that was from Baper the Gamer's voice of Ned Bear in Derpy Horse 4's End of the Memeverse Episode 2. But Caleb used my version of the line in Adventures of the Rosehog Duo Christmas Special Redecorated. Which the Redecorated was a remake of the Adventures of the Rosehog Duo Christmas Special that was Springtrap's Christmas Carol. The memories in one shot. But anyways, there's Monty's bass guitar because, well, pretty much I could do a pretty decent Monty voice. The in-between of accurate and originality. Now, pretty much there is something else on this shelf, and it's this axe I used, that my character used in the animation to kind of dismember himself. Now, before anyone pretty much says anything, do not cause any drama or report this to anyone related. But the axe model used in this animation is the fire axe from Freddy Fazbear and Friends' Evil Comeback. The fire axe that Springtrap uses in Andrew John 100's one animation, Freddy Fazbear and Friends' Evil Comeback. Now, I was going to use a different kind of axe model for the animation, and I could have really thought that sooner, but this was technically a decent, clean looking fire axe model. But obviously, my character looks at the shelf of memories, picks up the axe. Now, the song used in the sequence was Nefek's Pull Me Apart, which is a copyright-free song from Nefek's, which is Nefek's Neffex. Repurpose Assets. Yeah, repurpose assets. But if people start to criticize me for, like, that I used this axe that represented Freddy Fazbear and Friends to dismember myself, I'm not trying to give them, like, a bad reputation. I've been trying to move on from past events, which I'm not going to go into detail about. I am working on myself to not be but technically the axe was supposed to be a memory of Freddy Fazbear and Friends, since, well, I'm, like, somewhat thankful for Andrew John 100 for giving me the opportunity to voice act Monty in his Freddy Fazbear and Friends series, because I just felt like I was part of something that was pretty big, so I kind of messed things up with, like, a bit of my ego. I could have just let it slide, just walked off, but it's just, it felt like too controlling of an environment to be in with the Freddy Fazbear and Friends staff team. And they're saying that it should be a professional work environment. Well, they're not even professionals themselves. If they were professionals, they would have been assigned to, like, professional animation studio jobs like Pixar and all that. But I've been trying to move on, been trying to do my own solo thing. But now, pretty much this scene here, the white background and darkened version of my character model might seem lazy. But that's because, well, I wouldn't be able to animate the whole, like, stuff very good, like the axe chopping anyway. I probably wouldn't be able to do that, even though I was using rigs, but I'm not that much skilled with like smooth looking movements. Now pretty much the axe chops were pretty much like to the chest or shoulder, well, mainly to the shoulder, shot to the head, shot to the shin, and then shot to the gut. And it's mainly because representing like my depression and stress and pressure that I'm like stressing myself out a lot with trying to work on Showdown at the EE90s and trying to please everyone with like my what I can do with animation, but it's not good enough for anyone. Which is why at the end of this video I was saying I'm probably going to be retiring from animating. Because the pressure and stress, the blood, sweat, and tears I've put into trying to make decent animations for people, they say I could do more, and they're forcing me to try to work harder and harder, and it's still not good enough. So I'm like about done with animating in Source Filmmaker. I'm just going to probably still use Source Filmmaker for just artworks and stuff. I'm not going to do much animating. I mean, I would probably do some bits of animating, but it's only for like possibly like intros, outros, and possible just intro renders. But it's highly unlikely I'd be participating in anyone's Gmod series anymore because I lost interest with Gmod / Gary's Mod. But dang voice crack. But of course, the little splatters may look like blood, but it's mainly supposed to be like, such as like oilish blood. Oh yeah, the coughing up oilish blood was technically the coughing of oilish blood was technically something that was going to be for Showdown at the EE90s, so that's something that's a little bit of a reference to what was going to be in Showdown at the EE90s, as, well, technically, this model was a withered Splinks pre-mangle, which I suddenly was able to find, though the rigging on the model was complicated to do for the left arm, as you can kind of see. Oh yeah, the jitter movement on the hand is bad. Yeah, you could see the left arm kind of like completely snap to a position. And yes, a chest shot to the heart, because figured I'd try to end the pain and suffering from the whole stress and depression I've been having for years. But, and obviously also the textures were something I made called Battle Damaged, which obviously my character would be covered in like oil from like all the damage that was done to him. I mean, the withered Splinks pre-mangle model was pretty decent, although the rigging was kind of broken. Even when I tried making an auto rig for it, it didn't fix it. It looks kind of silly the way death like this. Then my character gets dragged away, and yes, there's clipping of the blood puddle, or the oil puddle. But the reason why the splatter is a mix of like a dark, really dark red, it's supposed to be a mix of kind of oil and blood in a way, as well, the oil being that my character's an animatronic, but he's still kind of somewhat human in a way. Not like he has like insides or anything, but just spirit is still human. But of course, as you've seen in the animation, my character gets dragged away, taken to the parts and service room, thrown up onto this chair, and yes, there's clipping, I know. I tried to remove much of the clipping as possible, but obviously the animating of my character getting put in the chair was bone animated and not rig animated. Well, plus it saved time. Then obviously this is where I showed CC the leopard. Now, CC the leopard, I'll describe who CC is. CC was a Sonic OC character I created for mainly my Sonic OC variant, which obviously my Sonic OC version is like still, you know, Extreme being the white and blue fox he is. But basically, CC was going to be something of like a girlfriend to my Sonic OC whenever I made like a Sonic OC series, like an animated series about like my Sonic OCs or my main Sonic OC character. I made a few Sonic OC characters. CC was kind of like somewhat one of the first females I thought of and created. And obviously CC is supposed to be a leopard, even though the color and pattern may look more cheetah-like, but if I made CC a cheetah, then I would have to have her be very, very quick. And should be like probably the same speed as Sonic in a way. But I was going to use different characters for this scene instead of CC the leopard. And it was going to be like Fnaf characters, but I didn't want to give too much away. I wanted to still stick to originality. Is Mangle not going to be the girlfriend of Fnaf Extreme? It seemed like something I was gonna do, but I didn't want to make it seem like a complete self-ship of Extreme and Mangle. I just had Mangle be more of like a supporting character for Extreme, like a character that Extreme could talk to, feel comfortable around, feel safe around. Because that's what I made Mangle's personality be in my series. She's shy, but she is caring for her friends, especially Extreme. And Extreme obviously has like the whole situation where not every animatronic is his friend. As if you've seen Extreme's Origin Episode 2 or Extreme's Origin Remastered, Foxy is a jerk. He threatens Extreme, saying, "You stay away from her, or else I'll harm you in a bad way." And Foxy, just because Foxy got jealous that Extreme was talking to Mangle when Extreme was just thanking Mangle for helping him when Extreme tried attacking Puppet, and Puppet like hurt Extreme's head using her powers. Will be cranking it to Mangle Fnaf What? Yeah, but I was gonna have it that Extreme was gonna be shipped with Mangle, but since everyone hates like self ships, I didn't really go for it. I just had it be more of like Extreme and Mangle being like close friends, even though I did do a old Twitter post. Well, I deleted my Twitter and kind of brought it back. Though I did a post there where it was saying, do these images make you think that they're shipped together? Or do these images make you think they are being shipped? And it was just 4 images of Extreme and Mangle from my series. Like, one being from the ending of Battle 2 EE90s, one from Extreme's Origin Remastered, Mangle hugging Extreme, and or I think I think the Battle of 2 EE90s one was Mangle hugging Extreme at the end. Then there was the picture from the birthday animation I did for my character, which technically is canon to my series. I think it was 20th, 21st birthday animation, which is canon, by the way. Where Extreme had walked out of the parts and service and Mangle was just standing with her hands behind her back smiling as she was showing like Extreme birthday surprise. Like showing that the characters threw Extreme a party for his birthday. And I can't tell if there was a 4th image. There might have been, but I can't remember what it was. I know there was one with Mangle hugging Extreme, which was Battle of 2 EE90s. Then there's Extreme's Origin Remastered, or technically Extreme's Origin Episode 2, where Extreme was thanking Mangle for helping him. And then there was the birthday animation with Extreme and Mangle standing next to each other. And people reacted saying it seemed like it, but most people that were my friends were saying they just see them as close friends. Anyways, back on topic for what this stream is about. But I was going to use Fnaf characters, but I decided to use CC Leopard. Although CC is more like a pretty girl. She's not really one to get her hands dirty. And by not get her hands dirty, for context, I mean, she's not one to do, like, mechanical work or repair work. So I thought about using another one of my Sonic OC characters to be included in this scene, which was Electrobatch, which Electrobatch is a deer. And his character he's a mechanic and a builder. So I could have included Electrobatch in this, but I wasn't really sure, and plus it would have been a lot more animating I would have needed to do, and plus I didn't have much ideas. I did have an idea in the animation where like a cart with the repair tools or parts would be brought in, or there was going to be a crate at around this part, where instead of like this program text popping up, Project Revamp 55-Z3L, instead of that, there was going to be like a crate or a box that had a note on it that says Project 55-Z3L. We lost a real ship today. Well, technically the ship is still existent in my heart, but I'm not really one to really show it off because they say self-shipping is cringe, where self-shipping is like shipping like yourself or your own character that represents you with a fictional character. So like a self-ship would be me shipping myself with Mangle from Five Nights at Freddy's. But anyways, pretty much this name, Project 55-Z3L. 55-Z3L is technically EE90 in supposedly supposed to be a letter code. Now, even though letter coding doesn't really exist, because obviously there's only 26 letters in the alphabet, so I was trying to combine a way, but I was going to have it that where the numbers, or the letters would be numbers, and the numbers would be letters. Though there was two alternative names for this, like instead of 55-Z3L, because 55 being EE, and then Z3L 90. Now that might not make much sense since, well, there's only 26 letters in the alphabet, but I had written down, like, what other types of code names I could have put. Let me just open it up. It could have been called, sorry, I'm stuttering. It could have also been called 55-GHL, or 55-ZZZL. But of course, G being I think it was the 7th letter. Wait, yeah, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, yeah. G being the 7th letter. H being the 8th letter. H-I-J-K, L. L being the 12th letter. So it would have been something like basically like 7, 8, and 12 being combined together to make the 90. Though it didn't really make much sense. So, but to keep it short and make it somewhat make sense, the Z3 is being like 3 Z's together, so it's combining 3 26s, and then L being the 12th letter. That's like adding up 26 plus 26 plus 26. That makes, crap, can't really do maths at the moment. I didn't really prepare to do maths. But, obviously, yeah, 55-Z3L meaning EE90 and supposedly supposed to be like a letter code thing. Or, like, letters to numbers, numbers to letters. But obviously, if anything goes past like 26, there would be like a second Z added. Or it goes over 26. Even though this doesn't make much sense, but it was something I just thought of an interesting concept because it would have been either this or something that seemed more dumber. Project 33P0 or Project 33PO. 33PO. that's kind of dumb. Well, obviously the 3s being like the E's backwards and P being like a backwards 9. That would be dumb. So I just did 55-Z3L. So obviously letters to numbers, numbers to letters is something I just created. It's not an existing thing, but it was something I just thought of as an originality idea. But Project 55-C3L Revamp project begun. Now, CC's taking apart Extreme. This was more like slideshow imagery here. Like putting on the new parts, like putting on the new legs, putting on the new arms. And then, of course, the reason why there was a paper towel used instead of a rag, I couldn't find a rag model or like a towel tarp model. Like, for example, I couldn't find the model that Caleb the Hedgehog used in Adventures of the Rosehog Duo Episode 1 Remastered, which was the little rag or blanket model that was used in place of the tarp. Or another example was the little wash rag or the little rag that Foxy used on Freddy's knee in Andrew John 100's Freddy Fazbear and Friends Freddy's Knee Troubles. I was trying to find that model, but I couldn't really find it, and I didn't know what it was called. So I had to use a paper towel model instead. But if anyone knows the rag model I'm talking about, let me know. Like, it just looks like a simple, like rag or blanket looking model, even though probably some people just change the colors of it to make them look like tarps or look like a rag or a wash rag. But obviously CC was just cleaning my character's body from the oil blood. Even though it might not make sense why putting the new limbs on the already existing torso. It doesn't make much sense. Well, you could think about it in two ways. You could think about it that the body was going to soon be redone or refurbished, like change up the designing. And even though you could kind of see the old lightning texture joints showing, yeah, it was probably not a smart idea, but I wanted to keep most of the model secret till the very end that it's fully revealed. But then, obviously this might seem cringe, but CC kind of gets up and kisses Extreme on the lips. Now, pretty much the kiss was kind of done on purpose by me, because I wanted to do something to show that CC is supposed to be like fictional character girlfriend that I created that's supposed to be the girlfriend of my OC character. I just developed to like CC the Leopard since I created her, because I was trying to make a female character to be perfect suited character for Extreme. But yes, Extreme and CC are a real ship. Though this animation isn't really canon to anything. It's not canon to my animated series or anything. It was just an animation that was done to reveal my original model. Now, the repairs on Extreme were technically going to be for Showdown at the EE90s, where Extreme gets repaired and gets this new model look. So yeah, there was a bit of spoilers ahead there, but I haven't revealed too much. Well, the whole repair animation sequence wasn't going to actually be shown in Showdown at the EE90s, but the concept of it was going to be that where Extreme gets rebuilt or repaired, gets a new look. Anyways, then Project 55-Z3L Revamp complete. Systems rebooting. Now, pretty much all this editing was actually done in CapCut instead of my typical editing software, Movavi Video Editor 2024. Now, Movavi Video Editor 2024 is what I actually use to edit most of my videos. I could have used it to do this editing here, but since CapCut gives me more options for free in a way, and more better effects and transitions, I decided to use CapCut. Now, CapCut, a lot of people on TikTok use it. And since I started using TikTok, I used CapCut. It's just CapCut has more basic effects even though that there is still some paid effects or transitions that need to be purchased, but at least I have like more sources of transitions and effects to put on my videos with CapCut than Movavi Video Editor 2024. There are some effects and transitions, but not all of them are really that good like CapCut. There's some decent ones, but I just used CapCut for more better effects and transitions and more different text fonts. All systems on. The blinking effect. Looking around. And I will say this map is the Five Nights at Freddy's movie map. And this was in Source Filmmaker, so the map was ported to Source Filmmaker, and there was like two versions, an outside and an inside. I used the inside interior. But as you see at the end here, teleporting to the outside, revealing the model, lighting on the arms, the ears, the hat. And I used an effects, Fearless, which is what I used in my intros. This running animation is awful. And then that was pretty much the whole animation. There's just me showing off my fursuit head for this end part. But that's kind of like the gist of the whole animation. So I'm gonna switch everything back into place. And we'll get the music going again. Whoops. Now where did I put that music? Oh, I have it in the other thing for the video. But I might as well show off what the original model looks like fully with the ref sheet. So here's a slideshow. Basically, this slideshow ref sheet shows the default textures of the model, which the default textures were made by DevCake Productions. And then there's the fixed/proper textures, which are textures that I made. And obviously you see like there's no vest and vest versions. The vest can be turned off and turned on. the vest doesn't need to be on the whole time, as I didn't really plan the vest. Well, the vest was a cool concept idea that I kind of did want, but it was a cool feature that DevCake put on, and basically kind of like gave me what I wanted to do for a concept, like have my character wear something like a vest or a jacket. And the black on the hands is supposed to represent gloves. I'm surprised. Well, I will say DevCake did the model for free. For no charge. Even though it was very generous of him, because I was kind of really struggling to find someone good enough to do a original model for me. Whoops. Turn on the fishing vibes music again. So basically, as you see, there's original textures and then fixed/proper textures. But the model is pretty cool. Big thanks to DevCake for pretty much making the model, and thanks to Mystery Person for porting the model. Now, pretty much the thumbnail of the video, if you've seen it, it was inspired, kind of somewhat inspired by one of Rabbi99's videos, which was his original model reveal video. Even though I didn't want to be associated with Rabbi99, the thumbnail of Rabbi99's reveal video was just an inspired idea. It's not a complete copy, but just the idea of having the original model somewhat darkened to be a surprise, and then just having images from the animation included. But in regards to Showdown with the EE90s, obviously I don't know what's gonna happen with it. I'm kind of somewhat starting to lose interest with wanting to do animations nowadays. Also, I'm probably considering, I've been thinking about it for a long while since I haven't really done much socializing on social media. I'm gonna probably retire from YouTube because I'm 24 years old now, and honestly, it's just YouTube's algorithm is really, really dumb, and I just feel like I don't have the passion to make animations and make gaming videos anymore. Because what's the point in me just recording myself playing games and I only just get only about 100 views. Even when I heavily self-promote. But I just don't really know if I'm going to be able to continue doing YouTube. I mean, I would probably still upload occasionally, but I'm just more falling into interest of doing kind of furry fursuit skit videos and stuff. Or I just like to play VR chat a lot. I do try to socialize more instead of just being a content creator. But before I continue on that topic, obviously I did kind of show that at the end of the video that my model was up for sale for people to purchase, but DevCake was kind of upset and said I didn't consult with him for that, and I apologized, but things are cool between me and DevCake. I took down the Gumroad page. Well, it's archived, but I'm gonna delete it in a bit in case if the archive still has access, but I should only be able to have access to it if it's archived. But obviously the model was up on Gumroad for some people to purchase, and it was like $20 or $25 for the model, and yes, I would have gave a cut to DevCake for being the model maker, but the purchases for the model were gonna fund Showdown of the EE90s to help me be able to commission or pay animators to help me with Showdown of the EE90s, but looks like I can't get what I want. I may have a lot of things that make me happy, like even if I have a loving family, have some friends that support me, have a fursuit of my character, have a custom championship belt, or I should probably show these on camera just to as I was saying, have a fursuit of my character, and have a custom championship belt made for me with my character, so I feel like a real champion, have my own custom championship belt. Yet, it just feels like that I still don't feel satisfied or happy. I wanted to become, like, somewhat popular. I wasn't trying to aim for fame, or I didn't want to have an ego. I just wanted to have a purpose for something. But of course, the one thing that's mostly missing that would actually fill the empty feeling in me would be to have a relationship with someone, such as getting like a girlfriend. But it's probably not going to much happen. And that's why I haven't been much active on YouTube or much on social media, is because I've been trying to search for something, and I was trying to find what actually makes me happy. That's why I haven't been much active, because I feel like I was trying to search for something that actually makes me happy, what I would really enjoy doing. But there's just some major things I feel that would really truly satisfy me and make me happy that I don't know if I'm going to be able to get, even though I'm trying to continually search. But just don't really know. Because, I mean, some would say I should just, if I wanted to get more stuff, but obviously they say money can't really buy happiness, which seems to be the case, and I'm just trying to process some words of what I want to say, because just at a loss for words at this point. I've just been trying to seek happiness and enjoyment. Well, enjoyment in something I enjoy doing. Because I want to be happy, but just things have been tough the last couple years. And trying to continue on YouTube, not giving up on my passions, it's becoming more and more challenging. My throat's getting dry from all this talking. But pretty much I wanted to end off my channel with a note that I have an official model of my character for people to use in animations and artworks, and now that's possible. Now the model, I'm kind of jumping over subjects and topics. The model I did give to a few trusted people. Now, name the list of people that I gave my original model to for free. Those people are... I have them written down on my phone. So the people that got my original model that you've seen in my animation, I gifted the model to Mike G023, Soft Bunny, and the Freddy Fazbear Show team, which Soft Bunny has an animated series that's being reworked on a whole lot called the TFFS show, the Freddy Fazbear Show. And I am going to be voicing Montgomery Gator in that series. But obviously, in animation being worked on, I'm not going to give too much about it. There was going to be a security breach animation that was being worked on, but it's been on hold for a long while. I can't tell, it was called Bowling Doofuses. And it's where Glamrock Freddy and the other Glamrocks go bowling at Bonnie Bowl. But hopefully in the future, you'll get to hear me voice Monty. Animations are on Soft Bunny's channel. Soft Bunny has a whole team of people that are voice actors, animators. But anyways, other people that I gifted the model to, though they're probably not going to much do anything with it. Luna Melody, who is a transgender friend of mine, and Gmod Extreme Fan 87, aka Carson, though Carson and Mike haven't responded to me revealing or sharing the model with them. But anyone else that, there's not really that many other people, even though I just realized a few other people I could have gifted them all to, like Gamergage Hopping, even though I don't really talk to them much. But only a few trusted people are going to get my original model to use it to make animations or artworks with. I'm not giving the model out to anyone else. And if you're wondering where Caleb is on the list, he's not on the list. Because technically, with the situation, I don't know what the situation is going on between me and Caleb, but if a situation doesn't get resolved by the end of this month, if the situation between me and Kayla doesn't get resolved by the end of this month, I'm just gonna completely distance myself from Caleb and just leave Adventures of the Rosehog Duo. Despite that, I was Caleb and Emily's inspiration. Hello, Black Phone Kid. Have I seen Stranger Things? A little bit of it. I haven't seen the whole series, but I've seen a little bit of the last few episodes of, I think it was season 4. Jeez, my throat's getting a little dry. Have I seen Coraline? Yeah, I have. But anyways, I'm just mostly like socializing nowadays, like trying to talk to people more on like VR chat, Discord. Even though Discord I haven't been much active on since, well, there's so many servers I'm in and it's hard to really make conversations with people. But I've been trying to find new friends since, even though it may be rude of me to kind of do it by moving on, like kind of somewhat seeming like I'm ghosting all people that were my friends that I made content with, but it's just, I just want to feel safe around certain people I feel comfortable with, which is why I kind of somewhat am starting to move on to like the furry fandom. Have I seen the It movie? No, I haven't seen the original and the remake, not even It Chapter 2. But anyways, I'm just gonna wrap up this stream. I didn't want to stream for too long. So I'm gonna wrap things up here. Just wanted to clarify, share some stuff, some Easter eggs, about the cameos in my recent animation. Destroy the old, revamp to new. And future plans, I'm not really sure if I'm going to be able to continue doing YouTube. I will probably somewhat still be around. I don't know what the future holds for this channel. I might just well, I have to end the stream because I'm like about done talking about what I wanted to talk about. Because this isn't like a chat Q&A. I wanted to keep this stream short. But from the standpoint, I don't know if I'm going to continue with much of anything on my channel. There may be a few occasional uploads whenever I feel like it, or whenever there's something that really strikes my interest, but that will depend. I just mostly like to vibe in VR chat and just try to socialize with people in public nowadays instead of just being in my house on my computer all day, every day. But obviously upcoming stuff, I may upload a gaming video on the upcoming game Baby Steps, which is from co-developed from Bennett Foddy and a few other people. I did a video of the demo about a month ago. You're a bit late, Link. I'm about to end the stream. Thank you all for tuning in to my little after upload live stream that was a bit late. But don't know what the future holds for the channel. I'm just mostly vibing in VR chat. Pretty much trying to socialize, look for someone special in my life. So don't know. There may be a few occasional uploads, most likely a lot of like YouTube shorts / TikToks. But I may post more on TikTok a lot more since that seems more active for me. But thank you all for tuning in. I'm Extreme Enigma 90, and I will see you all in the next video or stream. E90 out. See everyone.